Thank you for listening and supporting us. The holidays are here, so why not shop for the kinkster in your life at FetCast.dildoslubesandbeyond.com and get 10% off when you sign up for their newsletter. Hey girls, turn your kink into cash. Fetishes have never paid so well. Visit flirtywork.com to learn more. While online, check out sensualdominationmistress.com for weekly articles on BDSM. Also, look up True Kink Podcasts on iTunes and FetLife. Be sure to also look up Leather Angels, helping families and those in need this holiday season. Let's get to the show.
We got some people with us today. With us today is...
Naughty Kitty.
Master Thule.
Lavender Lady.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us back.
Yay!
Long time no see.
It's been hours.
Yeah, we just came from a new munch.
Route 40 munch.
It was good. I liked it.
Crowded.
Yeah. Very, very. I don't think they were expecting the first munch to be that huge. I mean, I certainly wouldn't for a first munch.
That's the biggest I've ever seen a first munch.
Absolutely. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. That shows that there was definitely a need for another munch, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No shortage of munches.
Considering there was one going on down the street.
Right.
That was crazy that there were so many.
It was awesome. It was truly awesome. But to be fair, the one down the street is submissives only.
Right.
That would be the JHO submissive night.
And they talk about, they have topics.
Right. They had an actual presenter and so yeah, it was good. It was definitely good. I know there was some talk it may move venues, it may also move dates, but they're hoping to keep it going. So
good.
Well, they definitely got a crowd going with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so today's topic is long-term relationships, how to keep the spark alive.
Well, long-term relationships, I'd say the best thing that's helped us has been having an open mind to try new things. Things are always evolving. There's always new experiences to try, and we keep up with that. Like, we don't let things get stale. I think if you get into too much of a routine of the day-to-day life, I mean, and that's a very easy thing to happen. I mean, people have their day-to-day lives, their vanilla lives, so to speak. Like, you work, you take care of the house, the laundry, the, daily dinners, and
you get into a lull.
You do. Yeah. Like, you can't allow that to happen. It's not that that's a horrible thing to happen, because there is comfort in that and to the same old day-to-day thing.
But when it becomes monotonous.
Right. If you don't break it up a little bit, then you can't appreciate the monotony. You can't, it stops being comfortable.
Right.
You can't appreciate it for what it is. And people get bored and lonely. So I think having an open mind is a good thing.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think the same thing. I think communication obviously is something that you need in any long-term relationship, is to keep talking about things. So when somebody's getting bored, identifying that and figuring that out. And when you're with someone, when with your partner, and they communicate to you that they have some problem, that something's going on, it isn't like your partner is likely to be like, hey, fuck you, I don't care. You're going to work together to find something that works, and if you're going to stay together anyway. And so I think having an open mind, making sure that you keep communicating with one another is really, really important. I don't think anything can happen without communication primarily. There are some things that we've done that have helped us, so done things like crack. We've done things like, hey, once every other week, I'll go out with my buddies, and you'd be surprising how refreshing it could be just to get away from the routine and to come back and be like, oh, I missed you so much, or even going away to visit my family for a couple of days last week. We come back and it's like, oh my goodness, I'm so ready to get back to the usual. Although your first comment, daily sex, that doesn't hurt at all.
No.
I'm just gonna interrupt real quick for our listeners. You two look at each other in the most loving way ever. It's so cute. I love it. I called you out and now you're all awkward.
Well, thank you. I don't know about that. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we definitely love each other. That doesn't hurt either, right?
You gotta like your partner at least.
You want to at least like your partner. If you don't like the person you're with, and it's not a sadomasochist thing, you're gonna have problems.
Yeah, in general.
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years for us, I suppose.
It's awesome.
Feels like 20.
Or 50 maybe. But what do you do? What do you do if things get stale? What do we do when things get stale for us?
Well, I think one of the first things that we did when things got a little bit stalemate there was we started trying some strange and kinky things outside of just regular kink. Like, we've always had like the power exchange. We've always had the spankings, the floggings, the rope, like all of that stuff has always been a constant. It was, okay, we're going to try this thing neither one of us have ever tried before. We're going to find things that neither one of us were like, oh, I have to do this thing. But it was like, this could possibly be interesting. And just the absolute, it being different. Like, I'm not huge on humiliation. It's not a big thing for me. However, I came up with the idea of, how about you pop in a porn and I'll crawl under your desk. So like, I can't see the porn or anything. I'm just basically a body that's there and for him to use while he's watching his show. And this is bordering on, humiliation, not anything hardcore humiliation by any means, but it's bordering on that. And I was like, yeah, let's just try this out, see how this worked. This was one of the very early first things. And it was like, it was pretty freaking awesome, I have to say. It was pretty fucking epic. And it's something we still do to this day. Like, it's certainly not every single time we have sex, but like every now and then it's just like, it's kind of kinky. It's a little bit off kilter. It's, there's.
Sometimes you need that though.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just basically a tool almost. And it's kind of fun.
A human sex doll. It sounds
Yeah,
a little better than a tool.
Right. I'm like a jack-off toy.
Human fleshlight.
It feels good.
Human fleshlight.
The original fleshlight.
Yeah, right. But
I believe
it was
that's
lots of
this.
fun. It's lots of fun. And of course, when you're poly, there's always new things that bring in some different and excitement and new people and keep things fresh. That's always keeping things fresh.
So I'll talk for a second. So trying new things is good, but like, what if you run out of ideas? What if we were to run out of new things to try? Like, certainly we've done almost every kink that's out there that interests us, right?
Dressing up like Smurfs.
Oh my.
Okay, so there's
That interest them was a key word that I noticed said.
that was last Saturday.
Oh, I missed that.
You missed it.
Well, we were in the blue
Which one was
room.
Papa Smurf?
Which one was Smurfette? There's only one female. No, but for real, like, if you exhaust all of your interests as a couple, what do you do? Like, how do you have, like part of the name of the episode is to, keep the spark alive. So what kinds of things would you do to make that happen?
Well, that's the great thing about the kink community. That's never possible. There's always a new party. There's always a new event. There's always new people joining that, you make connections with. Life is constantly evolving in the kink community. And while, we may run out of certain scenarios or we may run out of types of kink that we want to try out.
There's always a new venue.
There's always a new venue. There's always new people. There's always exciting things happening.
There's a new munch.
Right. Just like tonight, there was a brand new munch. I mean, we've been going to the same munches for years.
Show up at different times. Pretend you don't know each other.
I've had vanilla friends tell me that they do that, and I'm like, all right, whatever floats your boat.
Weirdos.
Yeah, weirdos.
But that's one of the great things I think about the kink community is that it's constantly evolving. I don't know how you could ever just absolutely run out of new things to try or do together. Even from a voyeur standpoint, like, okay, say you're not interested, like me personally, I am not interested in blood slugs. I love you, Bears Carol, but ill. Like, just ill.
I'm with you.
But like, I've been at parties where this is the thing and stuff, and like, you know, I mean, there's always something
Whatever
going on.
floats your
I may
boat.
not want to try it myself, but sometimes it's really cool to watch.
No.
I mean,
No, it's not.
Not if
No.
you have a phobia of blood.
yeah. Anyway, moving on. But like you can check new things out. You can watch new things. You don't have to even try every single thing.
Certainly, there has to be a bottom, though. Like, I mean, eventually, new munches aren't going to be interesting. Like, I've been to 20 new munches, and I probably have been to like 10. Like, eventually, you know, there's no kinks short of dressing up as different things like Smurfs or werewolves or vampires.
Are you done with me?
That's what this episode's getting to.
Aw, damn it.
10 years, good run.
Bad
No,
episode.
but my point is, like, what do you do? Like, what do you do when you get to this point outside of the community, like as a couple? What kinds of things would you do if I came to you and said, you know, kind of done with all of this stuff. I'm pretty bored. Let's do something different. Like, is there a different? Like, is there something?
I think there's always a different. Like, I think one of the most beautiful things about being poly is that your relationship is not this standard set in stone way of doing things. It's not okay, as a monogamous couple, this is how it works. You date, you get engaged, you get married, you have the kids, you live your married life together in monogamy to the end of days. If you make
sometimes
it.
miserably.
Yeah, if you make it.
I've had many friends come to me and they're like, I'm so miserable in my life. I'm pretty sure he's cheating on me. I'm like, do you
Like, you know there's another way.
do you have normal sexual relations with him regularly? No. Do you realize that's the problem?
Right. Like, it is a very, very big problem. And the beautiful thing about poly is our relationship never has to look a certain way for it to still be a valid relationship. We may evolve over time. Rules may change. Like, every poly couple I've ever known has rules. Like, I mean, I don't care. The most open of poly relationships have some sort of rules. You have to communicate to make things work.
Right.
And people have their own set of boundaries and things that they need for themselves to keep themselves happy.
Otherwise, it turns into cheating.
Exactly. But things can evolve. I've seen poly relationships where a husband and wife went from being, completely monogamous, and over time, they were no longer even sexual together, but they were still in a relationship together. Like, they still loved one another. They maybe had kids together. They maybe shared a same home together, but they had other partners and had branched off into other things because that's what they needed for them. I think that's the great thing about poly. Like, even if your life evolves and changes over time, it doesn't mean it has to be the end of a relationship.
I agree with that, but I would say the situation that you've described is one in which the spark is dead, right? So you're living with your sister who's dating other people, then, you're no
That's
longer...
a bad way to put it.
Wait, what?
You're no
You
longer
were
living-
married and had kids in the earth, and now you're my
But,
sister.
If you're not hitting it, like that's what it is. Like, you've turned that thing into non-sexual relationship.
A platonic relationship
platonic.
can be healthy.
Which is totally fine, but that's not Sparky, right? That's not, the spark isn't alive. Little Sparky's not alive anymore.
Where's Sparky? Where's Sparky? Come on.
Poor Spark.
Here, Sparky, come here. I think one of the things that really helps is knowing your partner, of course, and actually like focusing in and paying attention to what's going on with them. Sometimes it can be really, really hard to figure out like what's wrong with somebody, but you try things. You know, we went to a hotel once and she showed up with this maid's costume, for example, and it wasn't like I needed that. It was just
That's fun.
to keep
It was keeping the spark going.
to keep the spark going. Yeah, you try things, you do things for your partner, and it's rewarded. Communication is good, and
We preach that on here in communication.
if you don't talk, then you're not in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the way it is. She has something
Healthy
to say.
communication is also key.
That's another thing, stepping out of your comfort zone. When I dressed up in that maid's costume, I have never been more uncomfortable in my whole life. I cannot even tell you. I was in the bathroom of this hotel. I felt so ridiculous. I was so uncomfortable, and I like butterflies in my belly, and I felt shy, and
And it was just going to be him seeing you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't at a huge play party. Like you've seen how I've dressed at some
Yes.
play parties. Like it's pretty obscene. But oh, dude, just this.
Sometimes those costumes, though, they make you feel really self-conscious.
I did. I felt
You just
so
look and you're like,
out of my comfort zone, and it wasn't a normal type thing for us to do. Like we don't role play a lot. Like we don't dress up like different people and do. So this was totally out of my comfort zone. But it was like, I want to do this for him. I love him, and I want to try this, and I want to do this for him. So I did. I stepped completely out of my comfort zone. I forced myself to do it. It was pretty fucking epic. Let me just say, like, it had great rewards. And the whole costume thing didn't last long at all. I didn't have to be uncomfortable very long at all.
You had on for what, 5 minutes?
Oh, I don't know if it made it that long. Actually. I may have done a little pirouette, and
We had some kink play in it, though.
yeah, we did. There was definitely some kink play, and I had my little feather duster. I feathered him.
Keep it clean.
I think those are probably the primary things. Like as far as keeping a spark alive, you step out of your comfort zone. You communicate constantly. Be willing to be open-minded, try new things, experience new things. And it can be difficult. As human beings, I think we are inherently narcissistic. I think that is
Just a wee bit.
I mean, not horribly. Some people more than others, by all means. But we have a tendency to consider our own feelings and our own needs. Well, why wouldn't we? Like,
Right.
I'm inside my own body, my brain, my feelings. It's all about me. To stop every so often and make sure that you do and consider your partner
Right.
and their needs and their feelings. And just, step outside of yourself for a few minutes to make sure that you're doing that every so often, I think is very important.
It's healthy.
And I think if you keep up with those 3 things, that you pretty much should be pretty golden. Not to say that, every relationship will still survive. People grow, evolve.
Right.
I think you just do your best. Do you have any thoughts, Lavender Lady?
She looks comfy.
Yeah. With
Well,
her
coming
broken
from someone
finger.
whose longest relationship was 7 months. I can only talk from failed sparks. Poor Sparky. Poor Sparky. I think it is. He's true. You're living with your sister when the spark dies.
Yeah.
I was one of my longer relationships. It turned into being my best friend. Like it turned into being a friend. Like I loved her. She loved me, and we were in it because we both loved each other. But neither of us were getting what we needed from it. Yeah, there really wasn't. There wasn't like, oh, let's go home. It was, oh, let's hang out with our other friends, or let's go chill.
It became platonic.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's that line between the different kinds of love, and I think it's communication, because it took us forever to actually just be like, all right, well, let's just be friends. Like,
admit it.
yeah, I think that's what damaged the overall friendship and the general love we had for each other is the lack of communication. And I know everyone in the lifestyle preaches communication. And I feel like a lot of people, even though we know it's what we need to do, we find it hard to do. Asking the hard questions, answering the hard questions, the ones that make us uncomfortable, the ones that make us queasy, the ones that we're afraid that even the partner that we're the closest with is going to be like, you're weird. Why are you so weird? Because dressing up in a costume, aren't you just a little, even though you know and you love him and you know he loves you, there's that little bit that he's going to laugh. Oh my God, they're going to laugh at me. And having that trust, I think, is the biggest key, is the trust in to just fall, just jump off the cliff and fall and trust that they catch you.
I want to say something about communication because Nightingale mentioned healthy communication before, and getting into a relationship, as KK and I did, 10 years ago, I guess, certainly involved a lot of communication at the beginning, and things were probably rockier than they are now, as there was a lot of healing to go through. But I would say one of the main things is when somebody's talking to you, make sure you stop and don't get defensive immediately. And one of the defensive Hulk is whistling and looking around over there. The defensive comments,
I get defensive as shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does.
It's really hard not to be defensive, right? When somebody comes at you with some problem, which may even really be about them, but they're coming at you about it.
You feel like it's your fault.
It's like, hey, let me deflect. Like, I was a master of that, especially when we first got in. Like, I'll just deflect you off to the side, make it all your fault, and then, I'll move on about my day feeling satisfied that I did nothing wrong, right? And that's not good for a relationship.
Works for
right?
me. I'm kidding.
And so,
And that's how you have 4 kids.
And then I
Well, 4 kids. Let me deflect this into sex, so we don't have to talk about anything. Anyway, so one of the things that happened between us is, we would argue, this defensiveness would happen, stuff would get bad, and so it was like, look, none of us, we didn't really communicate anything in that horrible exchange the other day. All we did was get upset at each other. And so what we would do is we would move to a slower medium where it's easier not to just immediately be defensive. And that medium for us was writing things down. So like, hey, you're coming at me really hard right now. Why don't you go write down how you feel? And I'll respond there. And there's something about like not having to have someone like growling right in your face and talking to you just like that. And when you take the time to kind of like, all right, what is your actual problem? Hey, what the hell's wrong with you? We know there's lots wrong with KK. So. No. I'm just
And
messing.
now
That
she's writing an
reminds me-
email.
I have a friend who does something similar to that. They call it shelving it. When they really start to get heavy into an argument, they go, we're shelving this. And it shelves for 24 hours, and they stop and they think about what they're arguing about and whatever. And then they usually come back in an hour and be like, that was stupid. We don't need to shelve this for another 23 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I
And it
think
works.
I think most of the time, the 24-hour idea is probably a decent one. But most of the time, you're right. Like, what usually, like, those knockdown, drag-out fights that people usually have, everyone says, well, we don't even know what it was about. It was some little thing. And it's like, it's because you didn't take the time to truly communicate. Like, instead, you're arguing about shit that happened 3 years ago, and, oh, you always do this. You never do this. And it's like, you can't do stuff like that. Like, all right, just stop for a second. And, let's move to a medium where I can actually try to figure out what's wrong with you and why I'm reacting the way I am. And I think waiting an hour is a good idea. And usually by switching to writing, that happens.
Right.
It's like, okay, like I'm going to go and read a book for 30 minutes and then I'll read this and process and read for another 30 minutes and then I'll write my response. And sometimes it's painfully slow and sometimes we still knock down, drag out, get the hell out of my house. I'm leaving. Don't ever talk to me again.
We had that a couple days ago.
Yeah, we did.
Sometimes it still happens. And hey, that keeps the spark alive,
Yep.
actually.
We still have our fights too, and like this week we had a bad week. But each time it's like, okay, we fight, we say we're done, then like an hour later we text each other, what are you up to?
I love you.
I think the email thing saved us in so many ways. And I preach it to people over and over and over again, because as a submissive, what happens is, okay, we're arguing. He deflects or, gets defensive, and I shut down. That's it. I can't talk anymore. And then I'm just sitting there crying, blubbering, upset, and I'm not communicating anymore. Like, the words are not coming out of my mouth.
You cry and you just, the throat and everything, yeah.
Yeah, and it just shut me down completely. And then, so what happens is he comforts me. 3 days later, we're back to the same fight because we haven't fixed it yet.
Right.
And when we moved to the email format, and I would have time to write out all of my feelings. I can read over them and I can process my words. I can correct it. I can make it sound like when I would first sit down to write, my fingers are flying across the keyboard at 100 miles an hour.
And then you go back to read it and go, I have no clue what that sentence is.
Let's fix that. Let's delete that. This isn't really what I want to say. And you have a chance to get out your true emotions without just being, nasty. And I would send that to him and he would take time and read it. There would be, and sometimes he would respond to me right away with, okay, I'm processing this. Give me some time before I respond to it. Just to let me know, like, I received
it. I'm reading. Yeah,
I've got it.
Cool.
And I've heard what you're saying. Give me a second to process. This way, I'm not sitting there like, well, what? Are you going to fucking answer me? Because here we are back to that again. And it did. It saved us in many, many ways.
I would also like to say that you can still be defensive and deflective using words. So like when we switched online, it started with full emails, and then we tried just kind of like chats. But using the full email is better. Like taking your time to actually like write a whole paragraph about what the hell's going on, as opposed to being like, well, you're just a fucking bitch, or whatever the one sentence comment is. Well, you're just an asshole, and I hate you, and I wish you would die. Like that's not helping anybody.
That's no better.
So like short, clippy chats can be just as bad as yelling at someone and stuff like that. Lavender?
I also think so especially with emails and stuff, like you gotta worry about you gotta say that in different inflections in your own head before you send that. Like, when you think you sound like this, but they think you sound like this. That's an issue,
right?
That I've stumbled across a couple of times, and I guess I'm my own worst nightmare, because I'll be like, well, why do you say okay like that?
Right.
Like I just automatically get that.
I'll cry over
how dare you
from my boss, because I'm reading my boss's text and I'm like, she hates me and she's mad at me and this is her yelling at me, and then I'll get to work and she's like, why are you crying? You hate me. No.
Yeah, because she was asking you about coming in and you said you were busy, and she responded with, well, forget about it.
Just
forget about it.
And that's how I read it, and I was like, oh my god, she hates me so much.
I'm fired.
I come into work the next day, I'm so sorry. She's like, come here, hug me. You're an idiot, but I love you.
And then also, like, talk sweetly. Like, I know that sounds really corny and shit, and, maybe that sounds fake. Like, don't be as raw, I guess. Because, a lot of times, and I find this with just friends in general, when they get in a fight, things can be, things could have gone so differently if you had just gone about it a different way.
Right.
If you, instead of being like, well, whatever, okay. It's, oh, you know what? Maybe I need to take some time and think about this. Same meaning.
Right.
Different words.
Right.
Yeah. That's one reason I took fuck you off the table for her.
But go fuck yourself is still on the table for
Not for her. Not for her, it's not.
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
That's interesting, because I just recently read one about people who say sorry too much, and I'm a bad one at that. Bambi is really bad at that. And it's, instead of saying, I'm sorry, which makes people feel bad for you, you say, oh, I'm so sorry I took so long. Oh, it's okay. You say something like, I'm sorry that I had to, I'm sorry. I had to take my time to understand and process this. And you go into describing instead of saying, I'm sorry.
I think Pink Heather was saying that the other day, where
She says I'm sorry too much.
Yeah, she said she's sorry. And then what was she told not was to say in replace? It was, I feel for you, or like,
Right.
I feel for your plight.
Thank you for being patient while you waited for me as I was running late.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, I'm sorry, I'm always running late. You say it like that, and people go, oh, I understand, you're quite all right. Instead of,
Although this is a lot more common for guys, although it's certainly not gender specific, but saying I'm sorry is kind of important when you do something wrong, and actually earnestly apologizing for something that you did wrong was pretty hard for me to learn because I never did anything wrong.
Yeah.
It was always someone else's fault.
Yeah.
Right.
I got you.
Yeah, right.
It happens.
And so learning to come around to the fact maybe I didn't handle that the best way. Like, I actually am sorry. Can be important, and it can be valuable. But there are folks, and Pink Heather was just talking to us about that. I don't know if she's okay with us throwing her name around. I'm sure she's fine with it.
We'll figure it out. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of bleeps in this episode.
Yeah, she'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Oh, you know what? She was on our group one.
I'm
so
so sorry
yeah.
to ask me. I think that's another important reason why not to say sorry so much, because I'm also a sorry.
Yeah.
It's
You don't
funny.
realize it until you go, I say that a lot.
It's funny, my family, whenever you say sorry too much, we call you Florence. That was my great grandmother's name. And it's like, shut up, Florence. Like, oh, I'm sorry for saying sorry now. But like, it belittles the word sorry.
It does. It makes it
Not
less
important.
meaningful.
Yeah.
I try not to say sorry to men as much because
Sexist.
no, I'm doing this one last time this year. I had an ex that would always make it feel like it was my fault. And because of that, I always had to say, I'm sorry. And it really...
I used to get on you for that.
You would. Because it's like emotionally harmful to you when... I'm okay.
Careful, break your finger.
Right.
But it can be emotionally damaging. So I try not to say sorry to you as much.
I remember earlier on, I forget what it was, but we were together and something happened and you said, I'm sorry. And I just looked at him like, for what?
Oh, you wanted to go somewhere. And I was like, I really can't do it. And you said something and I was like, I'm so sorry. I it's my fault. And you were like, no, it's not. So.
No, I get that. And it's I think a natural way. I think it's very common. Again, another very common thing for submissives. Thing that I've noticed a lot in submissive females, that or males, but like most, I've known a lot of my friends that when you have that submissive nature, I think you tend to.
We have to please everyone.
Right. I have to make everybody happy, and this is clearly my fault. Right. Like I'm failing at something. I can't make everybody happy. So I get that totally, and it's hard to learn not to apologize for everything. And it also makes the true I'm sorry is less meaningful.
Right.
And I think that's what helped me to get out of it. To stop saying, oh, sorry. Like that would be like, I would say that like constantly. Oh, sorry. And then when you really are truly sorry, like, okay, right. I've fucked up and said this horrible thing. I'm sorry. Yeah. You always say I'm sorry.
Right.
Like you're always fucking sorry. Like it doesn't even mean anything anymore.
Like you're sorry for speaking.
Right. You're sorry
right.
for talking. Like what are you exactly sorry for? And it means a lot more when it's not just a reflex word coming out of your mouth, but when you're...
It's almost like I love you.
Exactly.
Right. You can overuse I love you sometimes.
Absolutely.
Oh,
and
God, Bambi.
Yeah. Bambi just says it, and so he'll just say it. Sometimes I feel like I text you that too much, too.
Like, we've been in the car, and she'll be like, I love you. Love you, too. Listen to me later. I love you. You just said that, I know.
We have established this.
Yeah, our little one will sometimes say, I know.
He does. You tell him I love you, and he'll look at me and go, I know. And I joked with him the one day, I'm like, you don't love me? He's like, you know I do. Just stop. Like, all right, we're past this. Like, all right, moving forward. Like, I'm not having this argument with a 6-year-old.
This morning I was taking my nephew to school, and he's in the back seat, and I'm on the phone with Nightingale, and I forget why I called her, but
I called you because of an incident.
Yeah, she called me, and
I knew not to say I love you, so I didn't.
So she called me, I put the phone on speaker, and go, hey, I'm driving, you're on speaker, my nephew's in the car.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so the conversation ends, and I go, I love you.
And I didn't respond back, I love you too. I refused. I'm like, no, this will make it horrible for him.
So anyway, we hang up, I'm driving, and from the back seat I hear my nephew go, Uncle. Shit.
Uncle King.
Uncle King.
Uncle King. Uncle Hulk.
Yeah. Uncle Hulk. I'm like, yeah, no.
Uncle Hawk. No. Uncle Hawk.
All right. Anyway.
I went, Uncle King. And I went, what is it? Did you just tell Nightingale you love her? Yes, I did. Why?
Why?
I go, well, I tell you I love you. I'm your nephew. What, I can't love more than I can't love people?
Platonic friendship love. I have plenty of friends that I'll say I love you.
Then I just turned the stereo on and
Yeah,
that
right.
was the end of it.
Moving forward, yeah. My kids don't bat an eyelash at this because it's for them like love is very prevalent. Our family is very, very mixed. Like we have biological stepchildren, adopted children. Like it's a crazy mixture in our family, and love is abundant. And they've heard me tell friends, family, relationships that I love them, so they don't even bat an eyelash. Yeah.
That's how his girls are. I'll tell them, I love you, girls. Oh, we love you.
Yeah.
When are you coming down next? I don't know. I'm sorry.
Well, that was like my one little one just told Lavender the other day, love you. Are you coming back tomorrow?
Aww. Isn't that the best thing ever, though? Oh, my God.
I love that.
That's right. I've infiltrated the Chan family. The kids love me.
Right? I don't care less if they like you. The kids like me.
The kids love me.
We love you too.
Key to Polly, get the kids to like you.
Yeah, that's it.
And they keep asking for the brownies.
I know, I do need to make them brownies. I know, I've been putting that off. I need to do that.
She brought brownies one time, and my 16-year-old looked at me and goes, are they sugar-free? Because, me being diabetic. I'm like, they are. That's a keeper, Mom. That's,
Awesome.
that's exactly what, our kids understand our Polly, so
Yeah.
they're very much aware of our Polly. So, yeah, my 16-year-old is...
I don't think they do.
It's age-appropriate understanding. Like, we don't discuss with them, like...
I think the vision in their head is way different than the reality.
Well, for the older kids, we are so cool, it's not even funny. Like, it's nothing but crazy parties and orgies all the time,
Right.
I'm sure. Like, we are way cooler in their brains than we are in reality. For the younger kids, it's just, these are our friends, and
Right.
everybody loves everybody. And, it's, right, it's
Up in this bitch.
it's not, it's age appropriate. Like, we're not laying all over each other half
Right.
naked around them or anything, but, we behave the way you behave around children.
Right.
Like,
I still remember it was either D or T made a comment about you and me being boyfriend, girlfriend, and then went, well, what about mommy? Well, yeah, they're that means mommy's gay. And that was all they took out of it or something. That'd be weird.
No, Kaylin, mommy's not gay. And then I just put cartoons on because I didn't know where to take it.
yeah. And now we move on to
I was like,
the Mickey Mouse house.
Yay.
I don't know how to explain the other one. I'm like, I don't know how to explain bye. That's the one I don't know.
Good.
Ah.
She's
Well, you
pansexual.
nipped
She
in the
loves
butt
everybody.
too. Your family was telling them that gay was bad, and he quick nipped that one in the ass. I was like, thank God, because I would have.
I'm like, don't listen to your cousins. They're just boys. They don't know what they're talking about.
They're dumb.
Yeah, they're dumb. They're dumb
just
boys.
Dumb boys.
I don't have a son, so I can just call all boys dumb.
Hey.
Not till they're 30.
Right?
Yep. I'm hoping I'm raising lesbians.
Safer.
Nope.
So much safer.
You don't have to worry about unplanned pregnancies. Yay!
No, they'll all be planned.
Yeah, you got to go to a special place for that.
When the girlfriends give turkey basters, that's when you worry.
Or the sperm factory.
Same thing.
I'm kidding.
Isn't that what I said?
So we're going way off topic, like
What
always.
were we talking about?
Keeping the spark alive.
Oh, yeah, the Spark. Poor Sparky. We done killed Sparky again.
Cool. Keeping the spark alive. Bring other people into it.
Oh,
What if there weren't other people?
Well, I know lots of monogamous people that keep things.
my
very-
parents? They're swingers. That's how they've been doing it. 20 years swinging. But
That's
still other people.
That's not monogamy.
I know.
I truly believe it is possible. I've met plenty of long-lasting monogamous relationships that seemed beautiful to me. They seemed like they were doing great. I don't.
But how? What do you do? So you say they're great, but how? Like, what do you do to... What advice do we have for people?
I can't do that though. Like, see, here's the thing.
We're a group of poly people. This isn't working.
There's nothing but poly people in
Does
this
that
room right now.
compute?
I would say go to Spencer's or whatever the new place is. Hot Topic. Spencer's and Hot Topic.
Spencer's has the toys.
Right, yeah, so you buy yourself some sex dice or those cards or whatever.
Right.
Try that book of 365 positions.
I
or
have
whatever it
that
is.
book in my
That brings
room.
right back to
Now, why are we
everything
only
that we
doing
said
3?
that works for. Okay, it basically, I think
'Cause they
it
work.
comes down to the same things aside from having new people spicing
Right.
things up. For monogamy, it's the same things though: communication, being open-minded to trying new things,
Good sex
and,
life.
and having a healthy sex life, and considering your partner, taking the narcissism down just a notch, and making sure you're listening to their needs, and you're hearing them, and you're trying new things, and like you said, having some time apart, even if it's not time apart, with other people, time apart, just doing your own thing, so that you can miss one another is sometimes still a good thing.
I think also an important part is if it's a broken relationship or something that's not, you can't fix that with a third person.
No.
You can't spice
No.
up your life with a third person
Sometimes
when
you need
there's
to let
nothing
it
there.
go.
Like
No.
you can't build something from nothing.
Right.
No.
From brokenness.
And sometimes it's hard to break through that denial of to yourself that this is a failing relationship. I need to let it go.
Right. No, that definitely not what I was saying. If the spark is already feeling like it's out, for the
Dead.
love of God, do not introduce new people to that, because this is the wrong way to poly.
Right.
What you are going to do is you're bringing another person into the pain.
Right.
You can't fix something that's already broken with it. Like, you have to have a healthy, foundation to be considering other relationships or doing other things. Like, you can't jump into it as a way to let's fix our relationship with poly. You can't. No, definitely not. But it is a way to help keep things spicy for a healthy relationship.
Right.
I would say that maintaining a regular sex life, like a daily sex life, is, and maybe not even daily, but
Well,
Daily intimacy.
daily
intimacy.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be full on sex.
Exactly.
But like, if you're not
Cute little
touching
pictures
one
while you're
another,
in the office of each other.
Right.
Like, want this
Hugs,
later?
pinches,
Coochie
kisses.
Yeah.
Like, these things are all very important, and intimacy can mean so many different things. Holding each other's hand, or helping each other cook dinner, or
Hey, babe, I made you
talking
a cup
about-
of coffee.
right, talking
the way
about your
you
day. Like these little type things, considering one another and remembering that this is another person in the room.
Right.
He'll often surprise me with what we call morning love. And it's just a text of, "Good morning, baby. I love you." You'll get I'm already
love it.
asleep when he sends it, and I'll wake up to this, basically a love note.
Aw.
And he'll rub my back until I fall asleep sometimes.
That's the best.
It is. It's
Oh my
so
God.
awesome. There's these little intimate moments that truly make so much difference to one another and keep things
Men, I
loving.
hope you're taking notes. Not you. Men in general take notes. This is how to we're women.
I just sent Bambi a loving text. Okay.
Aww.
I'm feeling a little guilty.
Aww.
Oh, tell her we love her.
That's fine. I forgot when her birthday was. I knew it's coming up. I just thought
No,
it was...
yesterday you're like, "Is her birthday today?"
It's her birthday tomorrow. Is it tomorrow?
Shit.
It's the 10th, people. I got it. Don't worry. Got it.
God.
You order her a gift yet off of Amazon?
No, we haven't decided.
Prime.
Oh, Jesus God.
You got Prime, but-
finalized.
We got Prime, but Prime time is running out.
I just
Walmart down
just
the
say
road.
you left it here and you haven't had a chance to get back up here. It'll work.
What I was gonna say was
Sorry.
finding a way to do the daily sex can actually be really hard. It's something that you have to really want. You have to really work at. It's not something that I don't think two people who've been living together for as long as we have. I don't think most people do have daily sex, and sometimes it's like, well, I'm really tired. I don't want to, but we should. Like, we need the reconnect time. We need the intimacy together, and you always want to. But if you allow yourself enough times to be like, well, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm tired. Like, we're not going to do it. And you do that for a month. Suddenly you haven't had sex for a month, right? And instead of looking to your partner, what you're going to do is look around. Well, my partner is kind of bored with me. So
I'm going to be bored with them.
I'm going to do something else.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how relationships break down. And so you always, you always have to remember.
You grab them by the hand and you say, "Why don't we have sex?"
Right.
But I send Bambi to bed early all the
happens. It's like, hey, you never fuck me. Why don't you ever fuck me? This is what she'll say.
Because you do that voice.
Exactly her voice.
That's me.
I thought that was
Fuck me.
Please don't cut that out.
I will do this. Like, it has been hours, years and dog years. Like, at least like 3 days in dog years. Like, it's been since noon yesterday.
I think I have your new text tone.
I was going to say the same goddamn thing.
You never fuck me. No, we do. We have, I think, what would be considered a very healthy sexual life. I think the worst ours gets is, if one of us gets sick. Which happens fairly often with all these dang kids. But even then, like, we find a way or time to... talking to sexual addicts is probably the wrong thing. We can't give advice on keeping the spark alive. Well, we fuck daily. What's your problem? Why don't you do this?
It's still a challenge. Like, it still is. Like, even for us.
It can be. It can. Like, I mean, we have kids. We have jobs. We have lives. We get tired. We get sick all the fucking time. 15 freaking kids in different schools and everything.
Oh my God.
Okay, they're not 15, but still, we have a lot. But, like, so yeah, I mean, it can be. It can be a real hard challenge, but we have never gone a month. It has never, ever happened.
Not even a week.
Not even. Like, at the most, maybe a week. At the most.
See, and that's fantastic because I have friends that have been together for like 5 years and they're like, yeah, we don't have sex ever. And I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you?
You can't do this.
What?
Why have a relationship?
You stop sharing intimacy and the spark will die.
Right.
That's it.
And
you
it's
have
usually
hissed on the spark.
And it's like, oh, well, I had a kid. You had a kid? A fucking kid? Okay.
That was hard hump to get past.
Yeah, I had to make sure he got over that. Oh, like he made a comment at one point. He's like, "I won't be able to have sex when the kids are in the house." Well, at the time, they went away on the weekends to visit, But still, it's like, fuck. I'm pregnant with your child, who's not going to go away on the weekends. Like, this is not. You got to get the fuck over this. Like, yeah, granted, like I said, It's not in the living room while the kids are watching TV or
Yeah,
anything.
right.
But there are plenty of locking doors in this house. We can use one of them. And we did. Forget that nonsense. Yeah, if you stop being intimate with one another, it is a surefire way to kill the spark. That's
And if
it.
you're monogamous, that's usually how cheating happens.
Oh, it's going to. Like,
Right.
you can't expect. Trust me, I get it. Like, as a woman, we go through hormonal changes.
Mm-hmm.
Things happen. There's, our natural cycle, which throws our body into hormonal changes every month. Then you have menopause, which throws your body into a huge turmoil. These things do happen, and I get it. I totally get it from a woman's standpoint. But you can't stop being intimate with somebody and expect them to just be on the same level as you.
And just sit there for you.
Right. Like, that is not fair at all. Like, you have to find a way to make it work.
So does anybody have anything they want to say in closing?
He's rubbing my back. That's what I'll say.
Fuck a lot.
Fuck a lot.
Lots of intimacy, lots of communication. Be open-minded to try new things. I think
What's that?
blowjobs are a good thing, yes. Oral sex. Never stop the oral sex.
That's never hurt anyone.
No.
It bite.
Like,
Lockjaw.
you have to remember why you fell in love in the first place. You have to remind yourself of these things. And if it's worth fighting for, it will take some effort. Like, nothing that's great was ever totally easy all the time.
Right.
Hi. You don't think this is easy? This is not easy.
We've definitely had our hard times for sure. Like, it hasn't always been just, we went through a death in the family. We went through a rough child with me being pregnant and, complications with that. We've gone through some rough roads. Like, it hasn't all been perfect. We've had communication issues where we learned to start, communicating in other ways. We came through a lot of barriers. Plus, we came into this relationship both damaged from previous relationships, from abusive relationships. And when we came into it, we were both very broken. We didn't know how to communicate well. We treated each other the way we had learned for an entire decade of treating another person through abuse. So, yeah, it wasn't all easy, but it was all worth it. Like, we are at a point now where now I would say yes. Now it is easy. It's not hard. Like, I can pretty much say, I can catch myself. Okay, I'm being a little irrational right now. Don't talk to me. And I've said this to him. Like, you know what? I might be PMSing or something. Something's off. And I am crazy as shit right now. And just don't talk to me right now, please. Just give me a minute. And we've learned to listen to each other. And so, yeah, now it is, but it wasn't always. You know that.
Well, I don't have a lot to add. It's easy now. We know how to talk to each other. We know how to initiate the spark, as it were, on a regular basis.
Nothing worth having is effortless.
Well, thanks for having us on your show.
I'm glad to have you guys on. We didn't have to talk much.
I'm sorry if we hijack your whole show.
No, it was a good episode.
Thank you for having us on.
Let's ask Hawk a question. Maybe he can answer it.
Shoot. What?
How do you keep the intimacy alive?
But I do need to work more with Bambi on keeping the spark and keeping things fresh with her, because I admit I get out a lot more than she does. So,
Poor thing.
with Bambi, I got to work harder on mixing up her routine, because she gets into these, I don't want to say it's a rut, but more of a, she gets in her routine and everything just repetitive day in, day out. So I try to mix that up.
It's very easy, especially as a mother. I can sympathize totally, because we have to do it all. We do, and we're very, very bad at asking for help with it. And even if we do ask for help, we'll do it so quietly, or we'll do it passive aggressively, oh, there's just so much. Instead of actually saying that, hey, I need this hand with this huge thing, and I really, really need you to help me with it. We're not going to do it. We're going to take it in all on ourselves because we feel like it's our responsibility as the mom. I mean, I've done it to myself 100 times. And he'll force me to get out. He'll be like, you're going to go shopping. You're not going to take the kids. You're going to do your thing. It's a little easier for me because I can drive. Whereas I know Bambi can't. So I can jump in the car and just, hey, I'm going to
Get away.
I'm going to go get a coffee. I'm going to take a few minutes break. I'm going to maybe pick up some groceries or something, have some time to me. So, I mean, it's a lot tougher for her.
Yeah, Bambi doesn't drive, Nightingale doesn't drive.
That's my New Year's resolution.
I know.
Getting my license this year.
With the previous...
She can't. It's not even something
I know
can
she
do.
can't. But when I get my license, I could just run down and be like, I'm stealing yous.
Yeah, because we had an ex that drove, so there were times when, whenever Bambi would get overwhelmed, I'd just send her off. I can't really do that right now.
Right.
Oh.
Sorry.
Get a license so you can be replaced.
Oh.
That is not keeping the spark alive.
Sparky.
I flooded the engine.
You pissed on Sparky.
You can't be replaced. We tried that.
I know. Do you know what she kept saying to him?
Oh my God.
I miss Nightingale. Can we get Nightingale back? He kept sending me those texts, and I'm like,
Nightingale went to the farm.
Dude, I remember those days. I met him during those days. He's not allowed to ever go back to those days.
I know.
Hey, you didn't meet me during those. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did. It was, I believe, the beginning of those days for you.
Yeah, because...
you met me right in the beginning, and then we broke up.
Well, it was because of her that I started going to Munches.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Shudder.
Did you just have a Nom flashback?
No.
We love Nightingale. She's never allowed to go anywhere. Yay! Nightingale, Bambi, King Hulk. This is the relationship that needs to stay. It is good. It is very good.
Uh-oh.
What did you do? As he throws the ring to the floor. Oh! I took mine off, don't worry.
Twirl the rings.
I bought him that ring. It's a really nice ring. I was impressed with that ring when it came in.
Yeah, you get your rings tattooed on. This way they don't fall off.
You won't believe how many times I've lost this ring and how many times my mother has to help find it.
Yeah, no, it's no joke. That's why we got ours tattooed on. I can't tell you how
I had
many
to
times
take
we lost
mine
our wedding
off
bands.
just now because if I get too hot, my hand swells.
This doesn't happen with this
Right?
one. It just never happens.
All right, let's go get them tattooed.
Yeah.
Will never fall off. Ever.
I get so many compliments on this ring, though. I love this ring. Where'd you get this, Amazon?
I love Amazon.
Right?
Well, it's been a great episode.
Very awesome. We really enjoyed being here. Thank you.
Kept you a lot longer than you wanted.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
So I guess some sign-offs. It's Master Thule. Respect one another.
was
Thank
that?
you from Naughty Kitty or KK. And
Thank you from Lavender Lady.
It's been Nightingale, the brat.
And this has been King Hulk. Until next week, stay kinky. See, new people.
Yeah.
New people get me in trouble.
People do get you in trouble. What do you
King
do?
Man.
He does his Batman cape move.
Tell us, Uncle King.
We all want to know. Uncle Hawk. Uncle Hawk.
Sounds Sounds like you have a mouth full of jawbreakers.
Oh, baby.
That's not jawbreakers.
That's empty.
How do I keep the spark alive?
You do your Batman move.
What Batman move?
Because you and Bambi have 2 separate blankets, so you could just kind of
Oh,
push
yeah.
your blanket over to her.
That's actually kind of adorable.
Right?
Yeah,
He told me
we
that,
have
and I'm like, no, I love that.
We have 2 separate blankets too. Like you
Yeah,
have
so-
to.
That's
So-
how you keep the spark alive. You have 2 blankets.
You don't
So-
fight over the goddamn thing.
She'll be all in her blanket. I'll be in bed. I'll be covered up under mine. And she knows when I want something when I just put the blanket over her. And then I start reaching under her blanket.
Bum chicka meow meow.
And then the kids come banging on the door.
And she's dead tired and doesn't want anything. I still keep trying.
Swan sandwich.
If I can get to a nipple, I'm getting some. That's it.
That's it. Game on.
Like, there'd be nights when, like, she can tell what I'm starting to do, so she'll just kind of cross her arms. I've been defeated.